Hey gang, Uncle Todd here, and it's finally warm enough I can get back to the theater. It's been a very cold winter. Oh, and there's finally something I want to see. Here to see Becoming Led Zeppelin. I, like a lot of my generation, came to Led Zeppelin via MTV and the videos of Robert Plant. Very big in the early 80s, especially around my school. I really think he's the reason so many of my classmates got mullets. He had a fabulous one. Anyway, once you become into Robert Plant, you of course start to look into, where do you come from? Led Zeppelin. I'm a huge Zeppelin fan in high school and college. Not as much now. There's just so many other great music out there, but I still got a place in my heart. So I'm going to see Becoming Led Zeppelin, and looking forward to it. So I'll tell you what I think when I get back. Whew. Okay, that was quite a movie. Really enjoyable. Uh, it starts out in late 40s, wherein we learn how, all four of the band members were children during World War II. And then kind of through their own storytelling, follows them up through into the 50s and 60s. Really some interesting stuff there. I loved seeing Jimmy Page watch himself as a young boy playing skiffle music, which was the precursor to rock and roll in England. And I'm talking about their influences like Gene Krupa, bass player in Joe Kidd and the Pirates, Sonny Boy Williamson and Lonnie Donegan, and all these early influences. And Robert Plant's early days in music, he was homeless, and he alienated a lot of people before Zeppelin came about. It's really kind of hard to hear. And the film takes us through basically, if you know the history of Zeppelin, Page and Jones were session musicians. It's how they made their living. And Page got asked by his friend Jeff Beck to join Yardbirds with him. He wanted another guitarist. And he did. And then Beck threw a fit about something, because he was temperamental artist type, and left. Whereupon Page kind of took things over as the lead guitarist, and then band broke up. But he wanted his own band, and he had, in his head what he wanted the band to sound like. So the Yardbirds manager, he went to him, and they decided, yeah, we'll form a band together. The singer he wanted wasn't available, and so that singer suggested Robert Plant, who he went to find, and through Plant, who'd been good friends with John Bonham, brought Bonham in. And the reoccurring joke through the whole thing is always John Bonham's wife going, "I told you not to hang around Plant. It's going to send you up to no good." And it follows him through. That's like the first half of the film. The second half is making the first album, touring, completing the second album, and how that was the thing that broke them through, and they became the Led Zeppelin. And there's some really good early live footage of them, some of which you watch them reacting to. Page, I love watching Page react to it, because he's like, "Oh, look at that." Not about himself, but about the band and everything. And one of the funniest things is, because England's different than America, and the first show they're playing in England, the footage of it, and you see kids with their ears in their fingers, and the parents going, they don't know what to make of this band. They're like nothing anybody's ever seen. And then they go over to America, And America just goes crazy. And it kind of culminates after the second album, them playing the Royal Albert Hall, which is a family venue, and them being accepted. That is like the big finish. They broke through. And it's a really interesting film. They have John Bonham's only interviews so that they insert audio from that throughout, so that you get all four band members, because Bonham, of course, died much like John Bon Scott did, or Bon Scott did in AC/DC. And Keith Moon, for that matter. They all, whatever demons they had, caused them to drink themselves to death. But really good movie. If you like Zeppelin music, they have a lot of their early performances, so you can see how they were live. And, Jimmy explaining a lot of how he envisioned and produced those first two albums and the soundscapes he wanted and things. And a rather poignant scene with Robert Plant where he's talking about the lyrics of Ramble On. And for all of its references to Lord of the Rings and, of course, allegorical towards World War II, really what he's talking about, for the most part, is being on the road. That's his life. That's always been his life. He's always been rambling ever since he left home to become a singer. It's a sadder song than you originally thought. So yeah, really good. Highly, highly recommended. Just as a documentary on its own. But for a rock documentary, yeah, really good. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.